good question. It started when I was in grade 9 at Victoria Park High School. I wouldn't say then it was a career, it was just more of the love of performing on stage in front of my peers. How it started was I went to a rehearsal and a friend of mine was absent that day, and I've been going to rehearsal to go see him after my soccer practice. But because he was absent and the drama teacher was like, you've seen this play happening in front of you and your friend is absent, so just stand in front of him, standing for him. So I went in and I did the play, and they actually enjoyed my performance more than my friend. So I was casted in his part, and then I played the role in front of, I think, 900 students at VP. And everyone was excited and happy and clapping, and I was in grade 9 then. And then I was excited, I was like, this is the most brilliant feeling one can get. It was more exciting than the football feeling. You know, it was more closer, and the audience was here, and I could feel every reaction of what we did. So I fell in love with acting as just a young boy from VP. And then in grade 11 or grade 12, can't remember, a teacher of mine who was doing music actually introduced us when we were doing musical theater. So she says, because you are so good at this acting thing and drama, why don't you try and go study for it? I know a friend of mine who owns a college for performing arts. I think you can enroll and you see where it takes you. And because I was excited and I enjoyed performing, I took it with both hands. I went to Stage World Theatre School, ran by Marlene Peterson. Her college is brilliant. A lot of students from around PE and the Eastern Cape who come from there. So I was there, I enrolled, and that's when I started my semi-professional work in the theatre as an actor. But when I got to third year, I fell in love with the art of directing. You know, so I started directing other students, and after I finished my third year, I wrote my first play. So everything happened gradually, you know, so I fell in love with more of the directing side of things, and I love the challenge of writing and slowly disappearing from acting, but love the discovery of acting. I think every rehearsal and every script I write, I discover something, not only about the character, I discover something about the actor and how acting is supposed to be. You know, it's all about the truth of what you bring out. And also when you bring out the truth and the realities of the story and the time and the place. So that's how I started my career as a theater maker, or I could say an actor, director and writer. And now I'm here. The decision of going into directing was not an easy one. We always say to most of the actors that it is not a natural progression for an actor to go from acting and then they go into directing. It's not natural because some actors are just actors and some writers are just writers, and they leave the directing to directors and so forth. So it was for me, I would say, a natural progression, because I've always, as an actor, had the ideas that maybe this actor should do this, he should move a certain way, and the scene should play out like this. This is how we paint the next scene. So I've always had those ideas. And I think when I was doing the third year, I had a clear vision of when I read a script, I can direct a scene in a play. So that's when the idea came, like, okay, I can do this. And other actors as well in the city had the confidence in me as a director for them. And this also happens with some writers as well, who give me their scripts to do. And they had the confidence. So the more confidence they gave to me, the more I realized that this directing thing is actually working, because it's not for everyone. It was not easy decision. Like I said, it was not an easy decision because in the space we are living in the economy we're in, especially here in Gqeberha or in the Eastern Cape or South Africa, One cannot just fall onto being an actor alone. You have to equip yourself with many other skills within the sector that you are in, whether it's in film or in the theater or any other business. Actually, you have to equip yourself with many skills. We always make the analogy of a soldier like a Rambo. A Rambo goes into the field as one man. He has this one bag with all the explosives, with the knives, the guns to win a war. So as an artist, we learned that you have to have all the tools in order for you to survive. Ooh, challenges. There are many challenges within. I think, let me speak about me personally. One of the greatest challenges is consistency. Most artists fail to go into a rhythm of consistency in the work that they're doing. If it's not consistency, how do we take it to the next level? So for me, it's always a challenge, consistency, because you are met with so many adversaries in the arts. They might be family orientated, there might be financial burdens that you have, and these things make your creative being not being function and being so clear, because you always have to think of the other person, the other things that I need to do, things that I need to achieve as I'm growing older. So it affects the creative ability and the arts itself and the artist in you. So you are always in a constant battle of the mind, the body and soul and the realities of the world. So that is the one challenge, staying focused and having that consistency in the work that you have. And the other part of consistency is getting creative work, jobs consistent, because you can stay months without a job and that is frustrating, and that is not consistency. You know, you'd love to have a job, and also whilst you are in a space of not having a job, but there's something that is sustaining you, whether it's writing a script or directing something else or just working on a concept, you know, that is part of consistency and the growth within the arts. So that is a challenge that we face. The other one, I think it's a challenge that many people always resonate with and around the world. It is a financial challenge. The financial challenge of how to fund the arts and who funds the arts, who funds your idea, how much they fund it, and is your idea worth funding? You know, and the challenge of many doors closing then, you know, and getting all those no's. And I think more no's you get, the wiser you grow. And also that when someone says no, it's no to the moment, but not to the rest of your career and your future and what lies ahead. So you must always make sure that you keep a positive mind as going forward, because there are many artists, many creative, and some ideas are almost similar as yours, you know, and you see them work, you're like, I had something like that, but why didn't I get the same opportunity? You know, and it's always a challenge. Like the previous answer that I gave about the challenge, it is self-growth within the arts, because we're all growing as human beings, but how do we grow in the arts, you know, from an amateur level, from a semi-professional to a professional level where your work is recognized. You know, sometimes people want to be recognized, but not the work that they put in. They want to be known as the artist, but what have you done? You know, because the people that are supporting or purchasing or going to the exhibition that you have, they want to see the art, you know. They want to see the art. They can meet the artist thereafter, but they fall in love with what you do first. So it's always a challenge of the art versus the artist, you know, that's a challenge. And how to overcome those is keeping a positive mind always, and believing in the idea that you have, and making sure that you stay in your certain lane that you believe you belong in. Because it's quite easy to fall in the trap of going to someone else's lane, whilst that person has perfected that idea or the way of working, and you try to emulate that and it doesn't work for you. So you must find what works for you as the artist and hone that skill and make sure that it's sharp and it is something unique that in the industry it can be recognized. You know, when something like that happens, like someone can say, it reminds me of Xabiso, you know, like, even though it's not your work, and then this person can say, actually it was influenced by, you know. So you must make sure your skill and your talent is something that it's easily recognized, but also not too far-fetched that a normal audience member cannot understand what you're doing, because that's also can go sideways. People are artists and no one understands what they're doing, but they must keep in mind that what you do has to be received by an audience member who doesn't know anything about the arts, because not everyone is a scholar of the arts, they're just enjoying the arts. So those are the challenges and way of dealing with those challenges. Hey, my career. Like any other career where one is always looking to improve and discover things, it's gonna be a roller coaster. Well, some of the things you discover are not actually pulling you up, they're pulling you down. And some of those things you discovered, you wish you would have discovered them 10 years earlier to improve your career and make your career go smooth right now. So I would say my career right now is it's in a roller coaster mode. As many people would know that I was working at a theater, employed at a theater, so I resigned because of bureaucracy and all the other things and work environment that goes along with it. So financially, it went down because obviously you're losing an income. It went down, but creatively, my career has blossomed because I feel I've got more free space to think. You know, you are not always fed things in your ear and in your mind in order to progress in your career or in your specific space where you're working on, you know. So now you're able to breathe. I said so. I think this is the second week when I started writing another play. I was like, hey, I can breathe. I don't have to go to work at 8 o'clock. you know. So I'm sleeping. That's what I said. I can breathe and I'm sleeping because I'm not thinking of all these other things. So my career is that roller coaster. Financially, it's low, but emotionally and spiritually and creatively, it's on a high. You know, I'm gonna do plays now people don't understand. That's how creative I am. It'll be like I'm in the moon and I'm in the Milky Way. So I'll be doing such crazy work next couple of years of my life, experimenting things that I wouldn't have done because you are shut not to do this. This is how we must do things, you know. So that's how my career has been. But on an overall scale of maybe 1 to 10, my career is on an 8 because I'm closely approaching 40. Because after 40, you can't tell me anything about life. Yes.
Stage of your life. So I want you to say, like, at this point in my career, at this stage of my career, I'm in a creative heaven.
Yes.
Basically. So could you start by saying that and just elaborate further?
Okay.
Just state that and then go on further into how you're enjoying this creative space.
Yeah. At this point in my career, I'm in a creative air balloon. You know, I'm just enjoying the view from the sky. And it's the most amazing view when you look at it from the sky. I'm doing work that I wouldn't have done in a space where I'm confined, you know? So creatively, that's what artists need. They need room to breathe and room to think, you know, room to explore more creative ways, room to read. You know, the more you invest time in researching about the career that you're in, and finding out ways and theories and mechanisms of cheating the career to your best ability, you're gonna find new ways of doing things, your own way. because I've created work. I'm like, now I'm doing docudrama, and now I'm doing musicals where I work with 50 kids every year. So every year I'm giving myself a challenge of writing a new musical, which I wouldn't have done before, you know. And I think because of the experience I'm gaining throughout the freedom that I have, I'm exploring new ideas of how do we approach what you termed as township theater, you know. And this township theater thing got us a lot of people talking. Is it township theater because it's happening in the township, or is it township theater because it's people from the township who are doing it? So when they're doing it in an urban area, is it called urban town? Is it urban theater, or is it still township theater because it's the same people from the township? So how do we define that? But there's a space, man, in my creative juices now that is being fed. It's being fed by artists from abroad. It's being fed by artists from here in Quebec, artists in the Eastern Cape. So there's a lot of energies that I'm receiving, and I'm happy because a lot of people also, they've missed me in the space of creative arts other than being sitting on a desk. So they've missed me on a rehearsal room, you know, and that has given me so much pleasure and joy in my career right now. They keep on changing. My aspirations keep on changing. I think when one reaches a certain goal, it changes because you need something else to aspire to. So I wanted to be an actor. I think I fulfilled that. People know me as an actor. Yeah, even if you Google me, you'll see there, I'm an actor. So my next aspiration in my next life, before I turn 40, I want to have created my own theater company where I can hire actors and also be free to produce work that I feel is needed at a specific time, because we live in chunks of periods. It's like my acting period, like I said, is dwindling, and now I'm in a space where I'm going to the producing side, you know. So I live in those chunks, and I feel now I'm going towards producing and directing work. So that is my future aspiration. And when I'm done with that, I think something else would come up. You know, maybe writing a book on how to do children's theater, or maybe publishing all the plays that I've done. So it's always about small chunks of success to make the big whole, to fill that big hole that you dig for yourself, because that's what it is eventually. You know, it's like digging your own grave with a teaspoon. Slowly but surely, you'll get there. But to make this one nice, it's like pouring a lot of sugar into a teapot. Slowly but surely, it's going to get sweet, and very, very sweet. So that's me with my career, living in chunks of the work that I do. I set a goal, I achieve it. So what's next after that? I was never given advice, but I was given direction to where to go. Like I said, the teacher that told me, this is your path. So she gave me the direction to where to go. So she never gave me the advice that I needed, because I think she wanted me to learn along the way. So for me, it would be any young person who wants to venture into the arts or the film industry, just anything creative, you must be sure this is what you want to do, because it's very difficult out there. There's a lot of people who are creative, they have silly ideas, they have the best ideas, they have the worst idea, because you might feel it's a silly idea and then it works for someone else. It might be the worst idea you've ever seen, but the world goes crazy about it, and this person is making money. You're like, how come? I've been an artist for so many years and I've got brilliant ideas, but no one likes them. Because you are consciously thinking that you must appeal to a certain audience. So it's difficult out there. You must make sure this is what you want to do. And the second answer, which I think it will be more of a profound answer, it's either you treat this as a burden or a curse or a blessing. You decide. That's the advice. Thank you guys for watching my Nsights interview on SwirlkousTV. My name is Xabiso Zweni. You can catch me or follow me on some social platforms, Facebook, Xabiso Zweni, and on Instagram, Xabiso Zweni. Signing out. Thank you.